أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Picking up, everyone, thank you for tuning in, and we want to apologize for the long delay in the series of the Prophet alayhimus salatu wassalam, due to all of the various segments of the coalitional forces frontiers, not limited obviously to that in which has been going on at the center, the presidential miscalculations at ICVA. Prior to that also, we've had situations with the Iblisis. Other than those at the ICVA, we've had other confrontations with demasking Iblis in Operation Stop Lying, as well as Operation Everlasting Freedom for the people of the Shahada of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We also had the march going, the 100-day march repetition happening. And then we also had the Gaza situation that has come into play lately, and we've had to dispatch a number of wind as well as water divisions. The coalition forces have dispatched the various brigades mentioned. So there's just been a lot of commotion going on, trying to clarify also the various elements of the People's Republic project in the Zakah Sadaqah Da'wah Foundation. So again, please do, we do apologize for that, but we definitely want for everyone to remember Allah Jalla Jalaluhu and take care of yourself through his means. So we're going to pick up from page number 234. This is in respect to Fir'aun, La'natullahi alayhi, being punished. Allah the Almighty narrated, and we inspired Moses, saying, "Take away my slaves by night. Verily you will be pursued." Then Pharaoh sent the callers to all the cities, saying, "Verily these indeed are but a small band, and verily they have done what has enraged us. But we are host, all assembled. We are host, all assembled, amply forewarned." Or this is very interesting. So all of those whom we host, we are warning them to accompany us. So we expelled them from gardens and springs, treasures in every kind of honorable place. Thus we turned them, meaning the Pharaoh's people, out, and we caused the children of Israel to inherit them. So many do not understand, but this was the destruction of Pharaoh entirely. Fir'aun was completely destroyed, not just him and that army he had with him, but because he summoned all of the local areas which he ruled to come and assist him in pursuing the Banu Israel. Their soldiers were taken by the sea. And many do not know, and it's not in this particular general story segment, because again the one that we're showing is more detailed on the video, but 600,000 along with Fir'aun died in the sea. Many do not know the numbers. You're looking 600,000. And what Allah Ta'ala says about them is that we expelled them from gardens and springs. In our own accord, they were enticed obviously by the Fir'aun, but they left very nice looking places, the best places in the world. Fir'aun was the emperor of the world at that time. There was no empire that was greater than the Egyptian empire. So they were expelled from gardens, they were expelled from springs, treasures, and every kind of honorable place that they had. Why? To pursue Musa. So we turned the Pharaoh's people out, and we caused the children of Israel to inherit them. Meaning that at the end of the day, or once Fir'aun was punished and his empire was so down to practically nothing, the Banu Israel inherited that from them. So the weak overtook the poor. The weak and the poor overtook the rich and wealthy by Allah's means. And in Surah number 26, at the very beginning of the Surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes reference to the fact that we want to convey the story to remind the weak and the oppressed that we have given them victory in the past over their oppressors. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, so they pursued them at sunrise, and when the two hosts saw each other, the people of Moses said, we are sure to be overtaken. Musa alayhi salatu wasalam said, no, verily with me is my Lord, he will guide me. Then we inspired Moses, saying, strike the sea with your stick, and it parted, in each separated part of that sea water became like the huge firm mass of a mountain. Then we brought near the others, Pharaoh's party, to that place, and we saved Moses and all those with him. Then we drowned the others. Verily, in this is indeed a sign, proof, yet most of them are not believers. And verily your Lord, he is truly the Almighty, the most merciful. In another surah, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu narrates and states, and we took the children of Israel across the sea, and Pharaoh with his host followed them in oppression and enmity, till when drowning overtook him, he said, I believe that La ilaha illa huwa, none has the right to be worshipped but he, in whom the children of Israel believe, and I am one of the Muslimin, meaning one who submit to the will of Allah, the Creator. Now you believe, while you refused to believe before, and you were one of the mufsideen, evildoers. Iblis is corrupt ones, like they are today at ICP. So this day we shall deliver your dead body out from the sea, that you may be a sign to those who come after you. And verily many among mankind are headless, or our ayat, evidence, lessons, signs, and revelations. Many are heedless to it. They don't take any heed to it. The curtain fell on Pharaoh's tyranny, and the waves threw his corpse up on the western seashore. The Egyptians saw him and knew that their gods, whom they worshipped and obeyed, were mere slaves who could not keep death away from their own necks. Going into now Section 4, the Israelites after the Pharaoh's defeat. In spite of Pharaoh's death, he left a bad influence on the souls of the children of Israel. It was difficult for the years of oppression and intense humility to pass easily. He had made them accustomed to humbling themselves and submitting to someone other than Allah Jalla Jalaluhu. He had so suppressed their souls and spoiled their nature that they began to torture Musa alayhi salatu wasalam out of ignorance and obstinacy. The miracle of the parting of the sea was still fresh in their minds. Damp sea sands were still stuck on their souls when they passed by a people worshipping idols. Instead of manifesting their indignation at the idolaters' oppression of the intellect by celebrating the praises of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu for his guidance, they looked to Musa for him to specify a God for them to worship as those other people had. They were jealous of the other people and their idols, and they desired the same. They missed the ancient idolatry which they had lived with during the reign of Pharaoh. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu revealed, and we brought the children of Israel with safety across the sea. And they came upon a people devoted to some of their gods in worship. They said, O Moses, make for us an ilah, a god, as they have an ilah, or as they have gods. He said, alayhi salatu wasalam, verily you are a people who know not the majesty and greatness of Allah, and what is obligatory upon you to worship Allah Jalla Jalaluhu alone, the one and the only one of all that existed. This is what your obligation is. Your obligation is not to follow around and buy a bunch of foolishness that you keep thinking that it's everything in this life and there is no worship of Allah, or there is that in association to worship of Allah. Verily these people will be destroyed for that which they are engaged in, which is idol worshipping, and all that they are doing is in vain. He said, and I quote, shall I seek for you an ilah other than Allah, while He has given you superiority over mankind in jinn during your time? And remember when we rescued you from Pharaoh's people, who were afflicting you with the worst torment, killing your sons and letting your women live, and in that was a great trial from your Lord. The children of Israel were favored with Allah's grace and bounty. They were saved from oppression and had witnessed the drowning of their cruel ruler Pharaoh, Fir'aun, Iblisi guy, when they needed water in the dry land. Allah commanded Moses to strike a rock, while parted, and sent forth 12 springs of water for the 12 different tribes, so that they need not to dispute over a shortage of water. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu also kept the skies cloudy to protect them from the scorching sun, to relieve their hunger. Manna, which is the dried exudate of certain plants, and quail were provided for them. In spite of Allah Jalla Jalaluhu's generosity, the mean-spirited ones began to stir Moses' people to object that they were disgusted with this type of food. They desired onions and garlic and beans, lentils, which were traditionally Egyptian food. So they wanted beans, they wanted garlic, they wanted onions, they wanted lentils, because that was the traditional food. They didn't want the quail and the dried exudate of certain plants that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent from the sky. They didn't want that. This is an indication of how stubborn and disbelieving, the nature of individuals can be. Anyway, let's getting back to it. That is why the ICVA and the likes following a model that's definitely not based on Quran whatsoever. Literally, you know it, and you're still gonna stick gun hold on it. So then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed the Quran, you're saying, no, I don't want that. I want to go to what I see my masters, like, the Freemasonry, what they do and how they do it. That's what I want. I don't want the prophets, alayhimus salam. I want this life. I just want to be able to dress up in our country clubs called IC. Astaghfirullah. Moses again admonished them for oppressing themselves and for their desire to return to a life of humiliation in Egypt. Yeah, so the friends and the allies of the Iblisi, Jamu Tubabi, you still want to be according to a lifestyle that is totally false. You still want to be according to a way that for in your heart is false, and that would be the similitude to what is going on here. He, alayhi salatu wasalam, pointed out that they were ungrateful for the best and most abundant food, information, the Quran, that you are ungrateful of what Allah Ta'ala has given of the Quran, because everything is in it that we need to organize and to be at the level that we should be at, but instead we're putting it aside. We're ungrateful for what He has given us, and we are ungrateful for the example that He has shown us, and we are wanting the worst we're exchanging it for the worst things that people are gonna say, I don't know, I guess it's like this, it's like I'm not sure, I want to say like. In other words, there's no end to where it is that your explanation comes from. You'll never find the source of your information to literally be the Quran. But even if you say, okay, it doesn't have to be Quran, it could be from anywhere else. Whatever else it is, if it does not have the stamp, or it does not have the originality of the essence of what Allah Ta'ala is saying, is from shaitan. That's the bottom line. And so people want to say that, that's here nor there, depending on how everybody sees. There's only one Allah, there's only one God, there was only one revelation that was finally sent to mankind today. And so accepting it and embracing it is embracing the truth. It is embracing the entire truth, nothing save the truth. Denying any bit of it is accepting and embracing falsehood. Yeah, unfortunately, that's just cut and dry situation. So we will stop it here and, try and pick it up from page number 239. And the series on Ali ibn Abi Talib, the commander of the believers, we will also try to pick up with that as well. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وتبارك اسم ربك وتعالى جدك ولا إله غيرك ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.